Okay, so that was Iceland. Next up we have Denmark again. This is through the accelerator Accelerance, and it's Donkey Republic.
Hello, my name is Erdem. I'm co-founder and CEO of Donkey Republic. Donkey Republic is a bike rental platform. We do for bicycles what Uber does for cars and Airbnb does for apartments. I need to get this slide over. There we are. Well, we're doing this because bicycles are really coming back. Cities are investing in cycling, and about 100 million people every day visiting a new town. They need better ways to get around. And there's actually about 1 billion people who are needing a last mile solution instead of waiting for buses that we think are going to utilize bicycles a lot more. And even when cars are getting electric and self-driving, we believe that bicycles are actually the new disruptive element before we are carried around by drones. Station hopping, they are making cycling a bit inconvenient. Oh, I think my PDF document is not really going well, but anyway. So when cities are building these station-based systems, they are 10 times expensive than what we can do. And because they are tender-based, they are white-labeled, they are difficult to understand, and people who are using them have to find stations every half hour not to get surcharges. So there's a lot of pain with customers. They can't drop the bike sometimes in using them, and that these systems with scaling. Yeah, another issue is with the manual bike shops trying to rent out their bikes. I hope this thing is going to fix. Can you try that in the meanwhile? So with manual shops, what you see is that they close after work hours and over weekends, and they can't really place their bikes in hotspots. So tourists, when they want to rent a bike, they are getting these frictions, and they also have to deal with each customer with the transactions. So what we're doing, we have developed a fantastic smart lock. We set them on any bike. It's based on the mount on the frame. And using these locks and the apps that we built in the backend, the platform, the system, the riders can find a bike on the go, just like they find an Uber cab or they book their Airbnb. And it's very convenient, it's affordable, that's why we call donkeys. We work with bike owners today who are renting bikes manually. They save 10 minutes for each bike ride. That sort of covers the 20% that we asked them. And they get a lot of benefits, 24/7 service, placing the bikes in exactly locations. They can manipulate their affiliate channels a lot better, and they also get commuters at a whole new segment is being introduced. You can see the smart lock here on that picture and our apps. So how does it work? Briefly, the product is a lot more than just a smart lock. We have produced about 500 of those, by the way, and they are 60 euros per piece. So the customer books either on the mobile or wherever they want, and then they pay through us. Once they have done that, they download the app, which gives them access to the lock, so they go next to the bike and they can unlock it. Once they do that, our app guides them to go wherever they want to go, but at the end, when they want to end their rental, our app guides them to where they need to go and what to do to check out. If there's any disputes, our system also takes care of that. So it's a full value chain for bike rental automation that we offer. The market is actually huge if we talk about last mile transport and commuter market. I like these flying numbers, $4 trillion for this and that, but if you look at the focus market of bike sharing today, it's about $2 billion and it will be $6 billion with 30% growth per annum. So that's really focused without any disruptive element like we will offer or we are offering. And we believe that with the commuter market coming into the picture, we're talking about maybe $50, $100 billion market, people switching to using more bicycles. When we're looking at the competitive scene, we have the old-fashioned bike share providers. They are doing these systems top-down, so you have to buy the stations, the special bikes, and they're at least 10 times more expensive to implement and at least twice as much to operate. 1 minute, okay. And none of the other guys are offering a value chain. There's a couple of smart lock companies, but they fail to offer or bring their locks to the market. As I said, the business model will take 20 euros. The average rental amount per day is about 12 euros. And the traction that we have is we have 40 bike rental shops globally who have committed to work with us. They've already bought test locks between 10 and 50 per shop. and they have 15,000 bikes collectively. So these are 300 to 400 bicycles. So these are between 3 to 20 people operations. And we've had 300 rentals last month with a growth rate of 100% month to month since December. And we maintain it until August at least. The team is about 10 people. We do the whole product development from the firmware and the hardware to the backend and the apps. And we're going to be with 120 rentals in July, 20 partners in at the same time.
Really up.
Time's really up. Thank you.
How do you get your new customers? I mean, do you do cold calls or do you have a network? How do you get them?
I'll say customers as the bike shops.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that must be the most convenient customer for you, right?
Right. Yes. So we are B2B2C. We're really focusing on the partners as or our bike owners as the customer. We've done a Kickstarter campaign last year between October and November.
So what, through social media or?
Through Kickstarter.com.
Awesome.
And we've gotten a lot of interest globally. So we've gotten a lot of pull. We've gotten 250 bike owners approaching us. The 40 are the ones that we prioritized and working with. There's another 100 that are institutional that haven't yet bought the Lux, but they want. And our goal has been 2,000 bikes by end of this year. Maybe we'll expand it to 5,000 bikes that we'll implement. But when we look at their portfolio, which is 15,000, 25,000 bikes, and they keep coming. Every day we get requests from around the world because it's a big pain point that we've explored, and there's no offering that can do this.
So what do you provide them? Do you provide them a couple of logs for free in order so they can test it, or how do you do?
At the moment we require them to pay actually for those logs because we have a backlog of customers competing for the same logs that we can produce. So we're producing 500 or 1,000 in the next few months, but the bike shops are requesting a lot many more. So we're just sifting through who we prioritize and we sell them the logs. The future is more giving them the logs for free to let them to test it on their bikes, and to do the real expansion from 100,000 to 1 million bikes. We'll probably educate individuals to become bike maintenance persons who want to more of like a franchise model.
Awesome, so super cool product. So with your model, you will have massive network effects inside a city and almost zero between cities. So I would advise that you don't do too many cities early on. It sounded like you wanted to do 30 cities, and instead focus on one city and get it to work there, because then it's much easier to go to other cities afterwards. So Uber, I think, was in San Francisco only for like 2 years. That was more advice and not so much a question. So I'll pass it.
All right. So looking at the last presentation again. Looking at the competitive slide we had before, I saw 2 of your competitors that I know from Amsterdam, where I live. I'm not familiar with that many cities where commuting on bike is the norm. Maybe you can enlighten us just a little bit more on which markets, because Copenhagen and Amsterdam makes total sense, which is why competition is there. Where else can you find cities?
I have to clarify, we're focusing on tourists at the moment, and that's where we also see a lot of network effect, and that's why we really like launching globally. We also see that the first comer in this market will probably take it all, because again, because of network effect, if you know us one place, you'll probably look for donkeys again. In terms of commuters and switching to bicycles, the cycling infrastructure makes a huge difference. This is happening across the globe. Copenhagen is a fantastic place to launch this product because they are coming here to learn it. As well as Amsterdam, I have to give you some credit. But it's North America, it's even South America, a lot of Asia. China has actually the biggest bike sharing programs because they are really trying to promote cycling because of the traffic problem. So emerging markets as well as secondary cities in the Western world are investing in cycling.
Okay, I could have another question for that, because I think certain cities are good for cycling. Amsterdam and Copenhagen are good because they're small and it's very, it's already prepared for cyclists, right? But if you go to Paris or Berlin, it's not maybe the safest way to commute. So I'm more looking to understand which cities are already prepared for this kind of transformation, more than which cities are trying to promote it maybe. Where you have the same penetration as Copenhagen and Amsterdam. That's what I'm getting.
So the 2,000 bikes we will have end of this year are going to be focusing on touristic areas. And they're not necessarily also just the biggest cities, but Berlin and Amsterdam will be launching there. Also Rome, Barcelona, London, secondary cities in the United Kingdom. And yeah, we have in Israel a pretty large partner, as well as a couple of places in Australia and New Zealand. We're also looking at the Southern Hemisphere to make sure that we're not too seasonal in business. Thank you.
Okay, who's not still awake?